let's talk about the Warriors versus Kings game. Let's talk about Draymond Green. How was the game for you guys? I mean, we expected Warriors to close down. Uh, Rudransh is probably very sad about what happened in the game. It was
Correction. I wanted the Warriors to close it down in six because I said it before and I'll say it again. I felt like if they had to win, they had to win that sixth game. With the way that series has gone, with the way that officiating has gone, I talked about it in the last one as well. That the Kings are getting all the calls in Sacramento, which will be the case again. I feel like in Game 7, and just in general, I've said this over and over again. You never want to be in a Game 7 because it's just a coin flip. It's just a matter of who comes out on top on that particular day. It's just a matter of who gets hot, and I feel like the Kings have a lot of streaky players on that team, and they're well coached with Mike Brown as their coach. They're very well
Whoa.
defensively. They're very good offensively in general. They were like the best offense in the NBA, so they don't need much on that side, anyways. Fox has been Mr. Clutch. They've just had the dream season. You never want to go into a game 7 with a team like that, and especially when the other competition has closed out their game in game 6. Like the Lakers came out with the exact mentality that the Warriors needed. They needed to jump the Kings. They needed to protect their home court. They needed to just sump them, have a big victory, which they haven't had in the series, other than that game 3 win. But I feel like they got punked again, which has been the case for this team all year long. They're very inconsistent, up and down, and this was the case again. And I think I fully jumped off this train at this point. I feel um,
Yeah.
like like I said, I felt like the Warriors needed to get Game 6 in order to win this series. I feel like with the refs favoring the Kings in Sacramento, and the streakiness of Malik Monk and Fox and the rest of that team, I feel like Herder can have a one good game and you can just be out of the playoffs. So I feel like the Warriors have missed their chance, and I feel like it's officially time to light the beam, and the Kings are going to the next round in Game 7.
I
Damn. I
in the
mean,
in the game that I saw in the morning as well. Rudraj talking about officiating and little diving a little bit deeper into it. I think so. There were a couple of calls and there were many calls in the game this morning as well, where the referees were favoring Warriors. Do you think it is happening because of the home court advantage? But it's not just that the Warriors are being favored against in the whole series. I mean, in this particular game, in the starting, in the first quarter, there were three calls on the Sacramento Kings team, wherein it was not even a foul. The foul that we saw on the player when Curry fell right onto the stand, that was not a foul as well. Curry was trying to
as
draw
well
that
as the
foul.
jump ball.
Jump ball as well. That was not also a foul. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not just the way they're favoring. Is it they're favoring the home team, or is it just I mean, what is happening with the officiating?
for me personally, I feel like the this has just been a very rough and physical series, and the refs have missed a ton of calls, just like they do every year. And you can't really bank on that. It's not. I'm not excusing the Warriors or anybody really that they didn't lose because of those calls. I'm just saying that you just don't want to put yourself into that position where the refs can change the game for you. They can just end your season. And I think, yes, some of it does stem towards the fact that the home court does play a little bit of an advantage because the refs sometimes do get influenced by the crowd, especially in Sacramento. They've never been in the playoffs in the longest, so the crowd gets really aggressive and like they're very loud. So I feel like some of it does stem from that home court advantage thing. But I feel like the refs generally just it's hard for them because it's such an up and down series that they're high flyers and like really good athletes in this series competing. So I feel like a lot of the calls are just missed because of bad angles and stuff like that. And just the general nature of the NBA to not use the technology as much on like almost every play, which would be slowing the game down a lot. I understand that point of view as well. So I think some of it you just have to play through, and just like for me, it was just a strategic thing that you just didn't want to go to a game 7. You should have closed it out in game 6, where you somewhat had the advantage of even the refs on your side because you have that home court. So I feel like the Warriors just missed their chance, I think.
I think especially with Ben Taylor being the umpire and his notoriousness with calls, a lot of these calls. So I mean, you could say the fouls went anyway. But like you alluded to, Rudraj, I think Mike Brown really got the better of Steve Kerr today. I mean, the last time I saw Terrence Davis play, I don't even remember, but I just checked it. He played in that Toronto season when they actually did they win the championship that season. I think he was part of that Toronto championship winning season, right? Terrence Davis. But now, no, like Terrence Davis, I mean, he fouled out, he got 6 fouls, but at the same point in time, he was rough, he was fast, he was trying to guard Clay, he was trying to guard Wiggins. I saw a lot of matchups where, he had the assignment on Wiggins in the post, and Wiggins went for a post fadeaway or a post up rather than, just backing him down and taking care of that
Yeah,
mismatch
I think
because
I think I pointed that out in the previous episode as well, wherein I said that he's not very decisive on his plays. He's not attacking the matchups that he should be attacking. He's getting his numbers, but I really felt like he was not attacking the matchups that he should have. Like he was not attacking Monk or Fox as the guy that Wiggins is. For the role that he's playing for the Warriors, he really should be trying to cave their chest in almost every play. You have to sort of make Mike Brown get Malik Monk off of the floor just because you have to make him into a defensive liability. You just have,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And, we saw that in the series against the Celtics last year, right? Where the Celtics have a much better defensive lineup than the Kings, but Wiggins was going toe to toe with whoever you could call Robert Williams, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum. He was going against them. And those players, even if they are not having the best defensive day, they have the size to, give Wiggins a lot of problem. I mean, he was definitely the second best player in that series throughout. And I don't think he has been that guy, right? And I was talking about this with you guys pre this podcast that, Mike Brown with that small ball lineup. I mean, man, Sabonis played like 23 minutes tonight, right? Sabonis has been their key piece, even though All Star Fox and clutch player of the Fox is a real thing, fourth quarter Fox. But Sabonis has been a real person who has, been at the playmaking hand, given them a lot in the paint and everything, giving them rebounds. But today he just went for a very small lineup with Trey Lyles at the 5, and they had to sub. I remember Trey Lyles giving Kevin Looney a 3 at the top of the key with that pick and fade, a pick and pop, and after that they had to sub off Kevin Looney because he could not stay with Trey Lyles at the 3 point line, and it was a really short lineup. The Allen Fox, Malik Monk, Terrence Davis, Keegan Murray, and Trey Lyles, and I have to point this out. Keegan Murray was the MVP of this game. He played 45 minutes tonight, guys. 45 minutes, the highest of any player on either team. He had like 11 rebounds, if I'm not wrong. He was going for each ball. He was not the best offensively. I have to say he missed a lot of threes. He was 4 for 13 from the 3 point line. But he was just giving them size and he was giving them a lot of problems defensively. Like even Malik Monk, he was going for every rebound tonight. It was not as if they were playing small at all. And Monk and Fox. Fox is like probably the fastest player, if not the second fastest player in the league right now. And they were just pushing the pace. And even Mike Brown during that huddle, he was like, "We have to go fast. We have to go fast." And you could see it in the backcourt. That Kentucky backcourt was really fast tonight. And I think that was the thing that was giving them problems. But
I think,
one
yeah,
more thing,
Mike really surprised Kerr tonight with his lineup, and like the Kerr just couldn't make the necessary adjustments. I feel like Warriors are a very good team if they want to play small, because they have been allergic to like big guys for a year or two now at this point. So I think they are the best team that are supposed to
they
be.
yeah, they actually invited the small ball lineup. I will
Exactly.
give
They are
Rocket that
supposed to
credit,
be
but
beating you on in that small lineup, right? That's
yeah,
their thing. But I think Mike Brown just one upped Kerr today, and he just
yeah.
really took
It
it
was
from him.
one thing that gave them a lot of problem was obviously Draymond Green getting into foul trouble very early on. Like with 6 minutes in the second quarter, he had 3 fouls. But I have to say something, Rudraj. 128 for 128 million for 4 years. Does that remind you of something?
Jordan Poole.
Man, this guy, Jordan Poole, every time he was attacking the basket, I was like, oh damn, this is it. The Warriors are going to do something crazy. Jordan Poole attacking the basket, throws the ball away. Jordan Poole attacking the basket, 20-foot pass right in the third of the crowd. I mean, Jordan Poole was a turnover machine tonight, guys. And I mean, when you see that, when you see Draymond Green coming off the bench and you see the three-guard lineup, Jordan Poole cannot be playing that way. There's no way you can be a 2 for 11, be a minus 22 on the field, not defend and not give anything offensively, and you're about to make like 28 million next year.
Yeah, I think that's what I alluded to, like in the previous episodes, where I said that we as like Warrior fans are sort of really tired of Poole just throwing those away, just having crazy turnovers. It's not a forced turnover. Nobody's putting ball pressure. Nobody's doing anything. He's just confused and he just throws the ball away. And he has those boneheaded plays almost every game at this point. But to be fair to him, he's a very young guy. He's like 23 at this point. You can't really expect him to be perfect every night. He had a good game in the previous one, and he had a decent game in the last one. The Warriors won like 3 straight, but I think it's the veterans who haven't led from the front. I think game two, it was Curry and Draymond with the crazy turnovers. A lot of them to begin with just came out flat. It was almost like game two all over again, where they just came out flat, didn't match the energy of the Kings, uh, and just couldn't recover from there. But yes, Poole has been bad. He had a really terrible game today. But at this point, it's not a surprise to me. It's just who he is. It's just you have to take some of the good with some of the bad. But yes, for a team who's having championship aspirations, you cannot have that as your third option.
I mean, the problem with Jordan Poole is that he is the best when he's as good as the Splash Brothers when he comes to when he's playing. But the problem is that he's not playing in the most. I mean, he does not show up in most games than he does. I mean, 2 games out of the 5 game series, Rudraj, if you're talking about that, in a 6 game series, 2 games is not nothing when you're talking about the playoffs. This is the playoffs. It is not the regular season wherein you could probably drop a few games and then probably make it off. If in a playoff games that you drop a game, you're done, right? And that is what we are seeing here as well. That they've dropped this game, probably they might not survive for another game, and might not survive the next game. I think so. The turnovers were a big problem for the Warriors. I mean, as much as the other team, the Sacramento Kings, tried to defend them, but I think so. Warriors lost this game on themselves rather than they playing a ball. I mean, it was good that Curry was well defended. Thompson could not probably could not shoot as much from the 3 point line, but he was trying to finish inside the 3 point line. But the thing is that in the start as well, if you saw that they just gave the ball away, they just didn't want to win. It was just like the ball was lava. I mean, they were getting second point. They were defending well. They were rebounding. They were getting rebounds well, but they could not just get the ball to the rim in the first place to make sure. And
Uh,
I saw
you know what you're describing?
yeah.
You're describing like the last 5-6 years of Warrior basketball. It's every single time they lose, it's the same thing all over again. It's the turnovers, it's the unforced turnovers, it's them doing it over and over and over again. And it's just very tiring as a Warriors fan. It's not just Poole, it's just overall the Achilles heel for this team. I feel like it's been 5 years we've been saying the same thing. Oh, it's the turnovers. Oh, the Achilles heel for this team is the turnovers. They just need to cut down on the turnovers. You look back on any game the Warriors have lost, you'll see the same stat over and over again. They lose because they have turnovers and the other team capitalizes on those turnovers, especially a team like the Kings, the run and gun Kings, whose coach has been wanting them to play fast since the very first game. Even if you go back to the first game, there was a sound bite of Mike going, we need to play much faster than we are already. And the Warriors will like probably regret that they didn't get that first game. But anyways, like sorry to cut you off there and just go on a big rant here, but being a Warriors fan, it's been very frustrating because that's why it gets super disheartening to watch them, because you really can't even watch that, because if somebody beats you, that's a different thing. But if you lose to your own team, if you just give it away yourselves. You come out flat, have no energy, and just have turnovers over turnovers over turnovers. You just simply can't watch that. It's just really hard to watch them being so horrible and just beating their own selves. It's not like the Kings had an amazing game. It wasn't like the Lakers just beat the Grizzlies, right? The Lakers came out and punched the Grizzlies. It was like a 40-point game because the Lakers pounced on them. They had 15 blocks. They had a good game. But it wasn't even like that. The Kings just pounced on the Warriors. It was just like the Warriors pounced on the Warriors. It's been like that forever now, and it's disheartening. Just I'm tired, man.
You know, the funny thing is that Mark Jackson was actually the commentator for this game, right?
Oh, he loves that. He loves that.
You know, Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr, Mike Brown, all together tonight. But you know, we were talking about this. You know, Steph Curry, especially after the win in Game Five, Steph Curry only taking 25 shots, and we said that those 25 shots, he's not chucking up those shots, right? He's only chucking up with the 3 seconds left in the shot clock or 3 seconds left in the quarter. But tonight, when you see that 21 shots and you saw that offense not going anywhere, do you think on nights like this, Steve Kerr should have more Steph Curry isolation plays or just Steph Curry pick and rolls with Draymond Green? Because though I mean, statistically, it's the best pick and roll duo this season. I think it's the best pick and roll duo in the off season, in the regular season as well. I think the second best was if you know what, I'll pose this as a question. What do you think was the second best, most efficient pick and roll duo in the regular season? And I will say this will surprise you guys. Think
For the
left
Warriors?
field for the entire league.
For the entire league. Oh.
It's
Oh,
left
I know.
field, guys.
I know. It's Denver, Jokic and Aaron
You are
Gordon, right?
wrong.
I'm
No,
wrong?
it's actually Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert.
Oh.
No.
Anyway, but at the same point in time, you look at this game and Steph Curry 21 9 for 21. I won't say he had a bad shooting night because I saw him third quarter just chuck up that shot at the end of the buzzer. I saw him at the end of the half chuck up that shot, and obviously he doesn't care about his averages at all. And you need to guard Steph Curry. That gravity is something else. You need to guard him at every shot, be it half court, be it at the top of the key, corners, everywhere. Midi, he got that midi in the start to give the Warriors a bit of a leeway off the glass. But sometimes it's just basic action, right? There's a reason why star players are always resorting to that isolation play. And I think Steph Curry needs the ball. He needs more touches, man. Steve Kerr really needs to give Steph Curry the isolation play sometime because, I mean, Klay Thompson was trying to be game six Klay and he definitely, I saw him airball like thrice. I think Jordan Poole wants
Yeah,
to be the man sometimes. And
that's another issue with Klay Thompson, especially after the injuries. I feel like whenever he tries to force a game, whenever he tries to force his shots, instead of playing with the system, instead of trying to make that extra pass when he's double teamed or something like that, I feel like he has a really terrible game and it shows. But he really tries to be that man sometimes. I think he struggles with his ego. Just because of his injuries, and he's been through a lot, and I understand that. But sometimes he's better off just making that extra pass, and the team benefits. Just like we saw in the previous game where he was getting double teamed, he passed up those shots, and the Warriors got easy layups just because the Kings were sending two men to Klay, and I think they needed to do more of that instead of Klay trying to chuck up his shots like he has in the past, where he tries to just will his way to a good game, and it ends up really crashing and burning, which it did.
obviously we Warriors had all the momentum winning 3 games in a row, right? I They didn't know what's going to be the score for the Lakers Grizzlies match before the match, but obviously Lakers got ahead and just embarrassed the Grizzlies, right? And they now have a 4 days, I would say 4.5 days because LeBron and AD did not play that fourth quarter. So I would say they have 4.5 days in advance for either
4
series.
days
Even
and a
if the
quarter.
yeah, 4 days and a quarter for the next matchup, second round matchup. And LeBron even alluded to this in the post game interview that we were flying 4 hours and then it was east, so we lost 2 hours, so it was basically a 6 hour journey for us. And now it's going to be like the Bay Arena is like what, 2 hour drive, 2 hour maybe an hour flight, and so is the
I mean,
Kings, right?
no matter what, it'll be a California like showdown, right? It'll
Exactly.
be
With California, it's not going to be as far as possible, right? So the Lakers, the biggest Achilles heel of the Lakers is obviously going to be injuries, and the Warriors, even if they manage to win Game 7, with all this, I don't think they have the momentum. Do you think they're in the right mind space to actually go ahead into that second round matchup and go against the Lakers team with all the momentum, with D'Lo hitting shots, with JV and Rui at the best point in their career right now? Do you think they have the momentum to actually go if they win, even if they win Game 7?
I mean, it will depend upon Game 7 a lot and how they play in the Game 7. Because in this particular game, I would not sugarcoat my words. They were abysmal, right? It really depends upon how clear the Splash Brothers see themselves in the. If it was if the previous game was game is like Game 7 moving forward, I think so they can probably go in with a lot of momentum. Obviously, the Lakers will be on a confidence high. They will be on a higher level with respect to their confidence because the team has been performing. But it's too early in the series. I mean, not too early. I mean, we'll have to really wait for the last match and see how it goes for the Warriors. If it's close, then it could be a problem. But if it's a blowout lead like the Lakers close it off, it could be a lot different. And I mean, I'm not expecting them to go off in a blowout lead, but I mean, there is a small dent on their confidence level. But I think so that it totally depends upon the next game.
The
yeah.
the funny
I
thing is that sorry, Raj, I'm guiding you. The funny thing I just realized is that the last time Lakers Warriors played, it was in the plane, so they obviously have some some animosity. But the last time the Lakers Kings played, oh god, that was 2001.
oh and the infamous referees coming in that
Yeah,
game
the
as well, right?
infamous referees coming in, and the NBA has scripted this for the Lakers to win. They want Kobe to get that treble. They want Shaq to win. So it's going to be a great second round matchup regardless. But yeah, Rudral, sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, no worries. I kind of wanted to agree with Srijan. I feel like the Lakers kind of got thumped in the previous game as well, but they bounced back. They showed that grit, which is what you look for in a championship team, right? You don't go down like twice, like consistently. You play well. You can have a off game here and there, but I feel like the Lakers have had really good chemistry, and like Srijan mentioned, all of the individual talent has played well in at least one of the games, which bodes well for them. Even if they have to face the Kings, it doesn't matter if they have to face the Kings or the Warriors, because they'll be going up in Game 7, right, where they get to rest. Uh, the Lakers get to reassess and just wait for their opponent. As for Game 7, if the Warriors fight back, they will advance. But I'd still favor the Lakers because
Right.
they've had more chemistry. They've looked like a better team, and the Warriors simply just in a vacuum, I'd say Warriors have not looked good, even without a comparison to any other team. It's just, to me, they have just beat themselves, like I said, and I feel like any team is a good team if you just beat yourself.
For sure. Lakers are so inconsistent that I would not be a lot shocked if they lose to either team. But let's dive into the prediction for Game 7. We only have one prediction for today because we already did the the Suns versus Nuggets matchup prediction and the whole matchup prediction. So, what do you think is going to be Game 7? I think we can be a lot more thorough in this. What do you think, guys? Who do you think is going to be the star in Game 7? Who do you think is going to suck in Game 7, and who do you obviously think is coming out? It's going to be a Warriors away and Kings home, but Warrior obviously won the last game at home, at away from home, and Kings then won away from home as well. So, I mean, it's completely equal. It's completely up there. I mean, there's nothing, even if there is home court advantage for the Kings. I mean, Light the Beam did not work last time. So, I mean, this could go either way. And like Rudransh always says, Game 7 is Game 7. What do you guys think?
I mean, I would be favoring the Kings for sure because of the terrible record that the Warriors have in this on the road, like and not being performing and going in with the loss. I think so. The Kings have the momentum, have the confidence, have the home court advantage, have the referee favoring advantage, as Rudranj says, right? and has a better
Wow.
record at home during the whole season. I think so. The highest scorer in the next game would be Steph Curry, but I don't think so that would be enough for him to bring the team home. So I think, but the biggest, I'm just predicting uh Clay Thompson to be the biggest bust of the next game. So yeah, but
Okay.
I wanted Warriors to win, and I wanted a Warriors Lakers matchup because it would have been fun for the podcast, would have been fun for the fans, would have been fun for the legacy that those two teams have, would have been fun for the core debate between Steph Curry and LeBron James. Although LeBron James is way ahead in that debate already, but that would have been fun to see
That's an
those two
opinion.
go together. But yeah, I'm favoring Kings because of the advantage that they have.
Yeah, I think the Warriors will suck and the Kings will be good. That's my whole analysis on the thing because I think the Kings don't need to beat the Warriors because the Warriors will beat the Warriors. Uh, they haven't shown up in like half decent games. They haven't shown up in the regular season games. I don't see how this team shows up in a clutch game where they have all the pressure. It's on the road. You've never won on the road in this season, and just the refs, everything. You really just wanted to avoid this situation as much as possible. They didn't do that. They were disappointing tonight. Um, but with my negativity, I'm somewhere deep in my heart hoping that they prove me wrong. Let's see.
All right. I am going to be a lot more thorough. I think I'm finally going to get that Kevin Herter game. I think it's going off at 25. I think Draymond Green is going to give them at least 20 points. I don't know. I have a feeling that Draymond is going to
I
punch
think
someone in the face.
Yeah, I think you already had the Draymond Green game. You gotta wait like a 4 year gap now for anything more.
No, but after that ejection, after getting suspended, I think Draymond Green would actually have to put fire on a referee right now to get suspended or get ejected from a game right now. So I think Draymond is going to punch someone in the face. I think it's going to be definitely with Sabonis or Keegan Murray is going to. Keegan Murray, if in 4 years, will be sitting on our podcast and say that's going to be my welcome to the league moment. I think. Uh, I think Draymond Green is going to have a great game. I think Kevin Huerter. I think Steph and Fox have been, obviously Fox not shooting on Steph splits, but Steph and Fox have been matching equal to each other. I think both have been averaging 30 before this game. Both got like Steph got 29, 26. Thanks to my parlays, I won because of both those players. But I think both of them are going to have their usual 25 plus 4 and 4 like that. But I think Kevin Herter is going to steal the game, and that's all the Kings need, right? They just need one of Malik Monk and Kevin Herter to go off. And they've won all 3 games, but one of those, and it's only been Malik Monk, but Malik Monk, whenever he's gone off, I think he's given them the game. So I think I'm going to stick with my predictions from the last podcast. I'm going to go Kings and 7. I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's an OT, but I think in the fourth quarter, I think the clutch player really makes some great decision and he pulls this away with them. I think then we're going to be predicting how is this team going to be facing off against the Lakers. But that's my 2 cents.